You have a test coming up, and the purpose of this video is to go over the chapter review. If I was there, you would have already done this, and then we would go over the answers. But instead, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and try each question, pause the video, and then see how you did. So, you should already have this handout, and I want you to go ahead and try number one. So pause. All right, we are doing synthetic division, so notice the key instruction here is to divide. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to say x equals -2, solving that for 0, and I put in -2 as my synthetic division. I see here x cubed, then should be 0x squared, then 4 to the -7. So I have 1, 0, 4, -7, and right down here is our remainder. If there should be 1, the 1 should drop. -2 times 1, -2. Add down. -2 times -2, 4. Add down. -2 times 8, -16. Add down. -23 is the remainder. So the trick with synthetic division is, of course, to interpret our answer. We're asked to divide. I've divided one time, so x cubed is now x squared. So 1x squared minus 2x plus 8, and then our remainder minus 23, all over x plus 2. There is our solution. There is now a trick to number 2. Go ahead and give this one a shot. Okay, we are going to solve this for x. So we have 2x minus 3 equals 0. So x equal, add the 3, divide by 2. And when we have a fraction right here, what has really happened is we've actually factored out the 2. We get to the same spot here. So we are doing 3 halves, but we do need to remember to divide by 2 at the end. The reason being is because this 2, we don't actually end up dividing by 2. So we need to do it at the end. So we're going to fill in 2, 1, -8, 5, and 7. We drop the 2, and 3 halves times 2 is 3. Add down. 3 halves times 4 is 6. Add down. 3 halves times -2 is -3. Add down. 3 halves times 2 is 3. Add down. Now, the remainder is inside this house. It's kind of isolated, so it is going to be over this 2x minus 3. So this 2 is already going to be included, but this 2 that we factored out is not. So I'm going to divide all of these by 2, and that gives me x cubed plus 2x squared. This will be minus, and then this would be plus 1, then plus 10. We don't divide that 10 because we have the 2 right here in our denominator. All right. Try number 3 and 4. Do 3 and 4. All right, the key is to evaluate. Now, we could, of course, put -3 in for x and get the same answer, but it says specifically to use synthetic division. And again, we are interpreting our answer, so we will divide by -3. We drop the 1, multiply, add down, just do the same thing a million times. And then -3 times -14 is, I believe it's 42. And then add down right here, get 45. And the answer is 45. We do the same thing over here with number 4. So if I want to evaluate the polynomial with 4, and this is the polynomial, I can do synthetic division instead of replacing. Now, we do have a trick right here, 0x. And our answer when we're evaluating is whatever the remainder is. So drop the 1. and I am just multiplying these. Oh shoot, this is going to be horrible. Times 4, 16, 176, so 166. So 166 is the answer. Now you do need to make the answers clear when you are doing these. So try numbers 5. It says to factor. Okay, to factor these, you're going to look at the possibles, which would be the factors of 28. So 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, 28. But we'll cheat. We'll come over to our calculator. So over here on our calculator, oh, my computer didn't like that. So over here on our calculator, we are going to go over to equation, and we'll go ahead and hopefully press enter. Okay, and we'll go and select polynomial, and this is a degree 3, and I'm going to type all of these in. Those would be the numbers in front. So 1, get a nice balance right here. Boom. 1, -1, -19, and 28. I'll solve it. Now I don't care about the decimal ones, I care about this 4. Okay? So if you didn't know where this came from, I went to my menu, went to equation, and then I put this in right here. So hopefully my computer will still write. That would be terrible because then I will have recorded this for nothing. Hopefully it comes back on. But anyway, I would synthetically divide by the 4. Okay, there we go. So 4, 1, -1, -19, 28. Now, we are key factoring. So I need a 0 right here. I have to get a 0 now. Add down, and I do get a 0. Now, if I had more factors over here that worked out exactly, then I would divide again, but I don't. So I have x equals 4 is a root, which means x minus 4 is the factor on solving that. Then I have x squared plus 3x minus 7. And this is the factoring. Go ahead and try number 6. Okay, once again for number 6, I'm going to put it into my calculator. I'm going to select degree 4 this time. And I will put this in as 1, -3, -5. Oh, I forgot to press enter. -3, -5, 19. And then finally -60. And I see, after I solve it, nothing worked. So, oh, I didn't actually select degree 4. Degree 4. All right, try again. 1, -3, -5, 19, -60. All right. Because it's degree 4, so I had to make sure it's degree 4. All right, I get 4 and -3. All right, so synthetically divide first by the 4. And the 1 drops. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. All right, I get a 0 right there. Now I just continue now with the -3. So 1, -3, -2, 6, 5, -15, 0. That's good. Okay, so I have x equals 4, x equals negative 3, so I unsolve those, x minus 4, x plus 3, and then I copy this down, x squared minus 2x plus 5, and boom. All right, next set of directions says write a polynomial. Go ahead and give that a try. Okay, so this gets into the conjugate root theorem, which isn't going to apply for this first one, but it does apply to that. If I have x equals 2i, then I must also have x equal negative 2i. So unsolve. That's my first factor. And then unsolve that, x minus 2i. Unsolve that by adding 2i. And now I multiply. Now it says in standard form, right here is factored form. Your test is going to ask you for factored form. So right now on your test you would be done. But this says standard form. So I am going to always multiply the conjugates first. So x times x, x squared, plus 2ix minus 2ix, doing this one, and then minus 4i squared. And remember, I squared is negative 1. So this is negative 4 times negative 1. So that's actually plus 4. So just drop this down. And I have x squared. Those cancel. Plus 4. And now I'll multiply these. So 3x times that. 3x cubed. And I have plus 12x. This will be minus 2x squared. This would be minus 8. Now, standard form means in order. So I just put this in order. Next would be 2x squared plus 12x minus 8. The next one, give number 8 a try. It's pretty difficult. Okay, conjugate root theorem is going to tell us that if we have 3 plus 5i, must also have 3, or minus 5i, I must also have 3 plus 5i. So I unsolve these, multiply by 2, and then I add the 3. Subtract the 3, add the 5. Now the most common mistake on this is actually not even the multiplying. It's some people just forget that there's an x right here. X, then minus 3 plus 5i. And then x minus 3 minus 5i. And now I do have a bear of a thing to multiply. So I copy down the 2x plus 3, and then x times x is x squared. X times that is minus 3x. And then I actually can ignore the 5ix, but I won't. But I can ignore it because I know it's going to cancel in the end because I shouldn't have any i's in my answer. Now I do negative 3, so negative 3x, I'm just going to line that up right here. Negative 3 times that, that's plus 9. See, I'm just leaving space to combine all this mess. And then plus 15i, so just plus 15i. And now I'll do this one, 5i times that, plus 5ix, then times this, minus 15i. And then finally I have 5i times negative 5i, which is negative 25i squared, but that's going to be plus 25 because of the I squared. So after all of that, this simplifies down to, combine those. Those cancel. 25 plus 9 is going to be plus 34. And then those cancel. That's actually a plus right there. And now I continue multiplying. 2x times all of those. So 2x cubed minus 12x squared plus 68x. Now multiply all those. Plus 3x squared minus 18x, and then plus 102. Combine like terms, so 2x cubed minus 9x squared minus 50x plus 102. your test will not have anything like 9 and 10. So now let's go down to number 11 and 12. Okay, directions say, use technology to find all turning points. That's going to be your relative extrema, mins and maxes, and the roots, the real ones. Graph so that everything is visible. Use an increment other than 1 if we need to. I don't know if we need to. Indicate if we use one. All right, so first I'm going to graph this. So you should use the tabling function on your calculator, but if you forgot where that was, here's the calculator. Press menu, go over to table, and then type in your equation. So in this case, x to the third minus 5x squared plus 3x plus 4. Always check your setup. So F5. See, mine always resets. So I'm going to set it to -10 to 10. I'll go ahead and start with a step of 1. Okay, so I'm going to table that. Go ahead and try yours. See if you get something like what I'm going to get. Okay, here's my table. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be graphing in the thousands. So I'm going to scroll down until I get something reasonable. -1, -5. That seems pretty reasonable. So I'll start my graph at -1. So right here. And then I don't have much of the left side because I'm starting at -1, so I don't really need it. All right, so -1, -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. And then 0, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. 1, 3, right here. 2, -2, right here. 3, -5, right here. 4, 0, right here. 5, 19, 1, 2, 3, 10. I should have numbered this by 2s. So something way up here. My bad. 658. Okay, so it actually goes really high up. That's fine. All right, so before I connect these, I want to make sure it looks like what I think. So I'll go over to the graph, and I'll go ahead and draw that, but I'll check my view window, make sure it's set to standard. All right, draw, and yeah, something like that. And I should put arrows at the end. All right, now, I'm actually not done with this question. It asked me to find all the extrema. So that would be this, and the roots here, here, and here. So I'll start with the roots. So I press Shift, G-solve, root. That will give me the roots. So my first root is point, I can't really read that. I guess it's a 6, 6, 2. And then the next one is 1 point. Again, I can't read that. So 1 point, I guess 6, 2. And then the next one, 4. So that gives me these. All right, now this is a maximum. So Shift, G-solve, max. All right, so my max is this location, 0.33. Now I actually want this y value, and it is a point, so I have a parentheses, comma, 4.48. I don't have any other maxes, so Shift, G-solve, min. All right, there's my minimum, So I have a min at 3, negative 5. So that gives me these, and I'm done with that one. So once again, to graph this, generally it does help to go ahead and look at what the graph should look like. So I'll go ahead and press menu, or actually I'll exit out, exit, and I'll type this in, x to the 4th, but it is negative, and plus 3x cubed minus 3x plus 3. And that will just show me what it should look like. Go ahead and draw the points. All right, we should get something like this. So I go over to my table. It has copied my equation down. Check my setup. It's going from negative 10 to 10. All right, go ahead and table it. Obviously not going to graph those. All right, negative 1, 2 is the first one. So guess I'll go right here. And right here. Oh, that was terrible. But I'm on a computer, you guys aren't. All right, so negative 1, 2 is right here. Now, I note that these go down pretty steeply, right? So negative 2 is like negative 31, like way down here. 0, 3. 1, 2. 2, 5. 3, negative 6. 2, 4, 6. And then really far down. So something like this. So I probably would have incremented, in retrospect, my x-axis maybe by halves, and then my y-axis maybe by 2s or something like that. So I do need the extrema, so I'm not going to scroll down in my roots. So my roots, I need my max, I need my min. So I'll go back over to my graph, and go ahead and draw that. So I have two maxes, so shift G solve max, and I have negative 0.52 comma 4.07, and I'll press arrow to get this one, and that is 2.07 comma 5.04. Now I need my mins. I need that one, so shift G solve min, and I have 0. I can't read that. I guess 69 comma 1.69 also. And then I need my roots. I have 2 right here, so shift G solve root. And I have negative 1.16 comma. The next one is 2.75. Now these are 2 different points, so don't really need that. Okay, that does those. Now, we're getting there. Almost done. It says find all the roots. Prove integer roots with synthetic division. So, again, synthetic division, you need to interpret your answer. So go ahead and try number 13. Find all the roots, or in other words, if this were 0, solve this. Okay. You should put it in your calculator, polynomial degree 4. And I'll put in 1, negative 5, 1, 5, negative 50. And I see 5 and negative 2, so I'll start with 5. And again, just like with factoring, I need a 0 right there. Multiply, add. And now I'll do the next one's negative 2. That's a 1 right there. All right, so I have x squared minus 2x plus 5. All right. I'm not factoring. I'm solving. So I actually have 2 of the answers. This is degree 4. I expect 4 answers. So I have x equals 5, x equals negative 2. And now at this step, I need quadratic formula. So x equals negative b. That's going to be 2 plus or minus square root. B squared. This number right here should always be positive. Negative 2 squared is positive 4 minus 4ac all over 2a. So I get 2 plus or minus square root. This is going to be 4 minus 20. That's negative 16. And the square root of negative 16 is 4i. Not root 4i, just 4i all over 2. Divide these by 2. And I get 1 plus 2i and 1 minus 2i. And to be clear, all 4 of these are the answer. Give number 14 a try. All right. Oh, no. Of course, that pops up in the middle of my thing. Negative 5, and another thing wants to pop up. And another thing. That's annoying. All right, and then 18 and 18. Solve. All right, I'm going to ignore these decimals. I'm interested in the 3 and negative 1. So I'm going to divide first with the negative 3. Again, if I'm not simply dividing, because I'm actually solving or factoring, I need a 0 right there. So that's a good way to check to make sure that I'm doing it right. And I do indeed get a 0, so that's good. Now I do the negative 1. All right, I've divided twice, so x squared minus 2x minus 6. And now I'll use quadratic formula. So 2 plus or minus square root, b squared, that's 4, minus 4ac all over 2a. So we have 2 over 2 plus or minus square root. 4, this is going to be plus 24, so that's 28. And that's going to be 2 root 7 over 2. And this reduces to 1 plus 2's cancel, root 7. This will be 1 minus root 7. And then I have x equal 3, x equal this negative 1, x equal, x equal. There we are. All right. The last 2 questions are simplify. Go ahead and give both of them a try. All right. Number 15. Now we need to be careful. A lot of you are switching subtraction problems to multiply problems. I'm taking this thing and subtracting from it this thing. So this has a squared, and I think we finally got over that we can't just distribute that squared. That's not a thing. You can't distribute an exponent. Not allowed. Okay, now we have minus, so I'm going to copy that down. I'm going to multiply this all out, and you should see 9x squared plus 15x plus 15x plus 25. And that is 9x squared plus 30x plus 25. All of that is in parentheses, and copy this down. Now I distribute that negative. There's nothing to distribute here, so the parentheses go away. Distribute this negative, minus 9x squared, minus 30x, and then minus 25. Combine, negative 5x squared, 5 minus 30, minus 25x, and then negative 7 minus 25, negative 32. All right, that's number 15. Number 16, distribute to all of these. X squared times x is x cubed. Then I have a y. And then this times that, minus 15x squared y. This is to the 1 power, so 2. Now I'll do this. So this times this, plus 20 x squared y. This times this. I'm going to run out of space, so minus 25xy squared. And then finally, this negative, make sure you take the negative, minus 8x squared y squared, and then plus 10 xy cubed. Now I look for like terms. I see this term and this term. So I have 12x cubed y. These are like terms right here. So minus 23x squared y squared. I don't see another x squared y, so I'll just copy that down. I don't see an xy squared, so I'll copy that down. And I don't see another xy cubed, so I'll just copy that down. Okay, so at this point, we have gone through this whole chapter review. So that was us working together. You now have another handout that is the other chapter review, and that is your homework. Use the rest of your time to do that.